can help you give the report effectively so that the people is aware of the changes in the systems.
Right. The changes in the systems, the changes in the celestial bodies,
Yeah.
all the shifts taking place.
So
But
that's
I
what
like this Pluto and Aquarius energy because, like you said, Scorpio rules the underworld and the occult and all things hidden. So the fact that on January 25th, all the celestial bodies are about to be in line, and then we have this transition from Pluto into Aquarius, which is the wealth of the information or the spirit, the data, the light being shed upon the people. That's really like full activation of the apocalypse or the unveiling energy. So we've been waiting for this. You know, this is a really good time. All things hidden brought to the light and shared with all the people.
hold on 1 minute, Kelly. Your chief warhorse called in to see if I can call her back.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Chief. I'm doing pretty good. I'm over here doing a live broadcast right now. Okay, I'm gonna call you when I get done. Conquistadors. They all have legends of people coming ashore sucking their blood. Whether it's the great goat sucker chupacabra in Mexico and Central America, but they always got a blood sucker, right? The chupacabra became a legend in and of to itself, but normally they be humanoids. They look like people and they suck your blood. They come, they snatch the women up, rape them and suck their blood, drink their blood, cut their babies out, eat the fetuses, right? These legends is based on the wars. They not based on the fairy tale of Hollywood vampire versus werewolf stories. They based on the real events of the people who use different forms of camouflage from the land fighting these people that came over here with them funny hats and them buckle shoes. And they frivolly, fluffily collars, right? Walking around in blouses looking like girls with tight pants. That's who we was fighting.
Right? Wooden shoes, wooden teeth.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob,
Well, that's
another perfect
yeah.
example of that, and you might can go in on this too, is the movie that they put out called Avatar. And it's that storyline is based on Montaoka and Pocahontas, and a white man, free white man, came in an avatar looking like them, but he wasn't them.
Mm-hmm.
He used the avatar. He got into he came looking like
That's
them.
the Anunnaki story.
Go ahead, build on that.
It's the same story straight out of the Sumerian tablets. Unobtainium is gold. Iwas was the tree of life they cut down in South Africa. Iwas is the same spirit that talked to Aleister Crowley and told him to put all their secrets in public.
Go ahead.
So he put all their depravity out in the public and he used himself as a sacrificial lamb because he didn't want to go against the Great Mother. He told all of the Masonic secrets. He told all of the Golden Dawn secrets. He told all of the theosophical secrets. So when you go in there, you don't know what you're looking at, but he's giving you the jewels of the equinox, right? So when you start seeing what's being done, the rituals be so obvious you can't miss them. They do them in your face all the time. Everything's a ritual. When you look up the word of ritual, it's something that you do all the time. You repeat it, right? And then you have certain circumstances that have to be present. That you ever notice that every coliseum is either a circle or oblong shape?
Go ahead.
Because you got to do all of your magic from the magic circle.
Go ahead. You going somewhere? The
When
pentagon.
they put the magic circle in the center of the eye, that's why they're oblong. Because some of them is representing the eye, but it's still got a circle in the middle, right? Optics, visualization, focus and concentration, directing currents of energy from individuals in order to move the mass machine. the more people that support, I'm not versed in the Clovis people.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my first time hearing it too. But I'm gonna
It
take
ain't
note.
my first time hearing it, but I haven't did any research on them, so I ain't finna be up here looking like I haven't been studying them, and I haven't studied them, but I have heard of them, but I don't know much about them.
Hey, I'm gonna take a note on it. We'll get back with you on that for sure. I'm gonna take a note on that and go look that up.
This is one of the good things about being exposed to this large group of people, because when they ask you a question you don't know the answer to, you don't want to be asked the same question twice without an answer. It make you go study more and more stuff, right? And the more you know, the further you go. And the marathon continues until you get to the finish line. That's when they wave the checker flag and you go to the winner's circle. You're still in the circle. The winner's circle is the most magical of circles. Only people in the winner's circle is first, second, and third. Some of them are, but a lot of them have been silently removed from the land. They was easy to get because most of them, like 80% of them to 90%, somewhere in the 80% range, lived in gated communities across the land. And they couldn't stand us and talked about us like a dog. But then they the same ones be coming off all the marches talking about kill Whitey. But he the one telling Whitey what to do.
Black hand, white glove.
You dig? Look, Campbell's came from over here. Campbell is the symbol
Fact.
for the ancient and Arabic order, the nobles of the mystic shrine, right? The shrine is the shrine of the Black Madonna, where they buried the remains of the Great Mother until she returned again as Empress Chakra. And so the camel symbol, when you see it, even if it's a pack of cigarettes, Joe Cool, whatever it is, when you see the camel as a symbol, know it represents the ancient Arabic order, nobles of the mystic shrine, the Shriners, secret brotherhood of the Sufi order, the red light.
And that's what I was asking. Why did the camels? Because the camels, they say they migrated from over here 6 billion years ago.
They
I'm saying
didn't migrate, we took them over there.
that's what I'm saying. Somebody had to be riding them joints. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Yeah.
look, the elephant is not native to India. It's not native to Africa. The elephant native over here.
Go ahead. I was going to ask that too. That was my next question about the elephant.
The lion is not native to Africa. We used to send to palaces in Kemet lions from over here. That's how
Yeah,
they got over there.
they did a good
To the
job.
palaces of India's and the great royal families of India, we used to send them lions for pets. Some of them escaped. Over the years, they began to proliferate.
That makes sense, man. What you saying make a lot of sense because they said that they was gonna mislocate us, like misdirect us. They sent stuff that was over here. Like I'm gonna tell you, like people when I put out that tape about
Look,
that
people
Armac.
started. People started over here,
Go ahead.
and they come with this out of Africa theory.
Go ahead.
People start over here.
Go ahead.
This is where when the Great Atlant was the origin of the civilization, most of the land didn't need no people on it. We lived over here, and part of what you call the Gulf, they say a big meteor hit there. That was a missile. There was no meteor shower. Them was bombs being dropped on Earth.
By the Anunnakis.
Them was the Vamanus Wars, the Great Anunnaki War, the wars between the brothers, Enki and Enlil. Enki swore that he wouldn't put the earth in danger, and Enlil decided he was going to take it over. So now Enki is forced to defend the earth against his brother to protect it from the evil that he brought here.
Mm-hmm.
This becomes a concern for their father, because they mamas is fighting each other about the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
right? When you go to when you go to Ainana Returns and Ainana Hapalumino, it tell you what happened, what the war was about. It was
Yeah,
a gender conflict.
yeah, I read that.
And they've been trying to make a girl ever since to prove Ainana wrong that you can make babies with a man with
Yeah,
no woman.
yeah,
This is
that's
why they told you that BS in the Bible, that Eve came out of Adam's rib.
go ahead, Rod. You building now.
That's not possible. Okay, where did she, if she came out as rib, did she lay on the ground and gestate for 9 months? Where was she gestating at for 9 months? Right? They ain't tell you that. You remember what Bible right? Did Adam and Eve have a navel?
Go
Wasn't that the
ahead.
name of the
Go
scroll?
ahead. Go ahead.
Right, because they ain't had no navel, they wasn't one of us. Whatever they was, if they didn't have no navel, that mean they had no mama.
Right.
Right? So do they have a navel? Now we know they didn't wasn't made instantly and poof because Adam was formed and fashioned from the dust of the earth, right? The Adama, right? And Damu is the root word, and Damu mean blood. Come on now. They run a game on us and they think that we will never put the pieces together. They haven't gave us any updates on Larry's situation. First of all, the lawyers argued the shit dumb as hell. They should have leaned on the rest defense, right? Because they would have brought a whole new understanding to his position and his plight. The best qualified person gonna hold the job whether he want to or not, and the soldiers gonna make sure he stand up to that position. He don't gotta want it, but he gotta do it because his life on the line. And the story was told by Dad Dirk, the tribal lit writer. And Don Dirk flat out told him, you're gonna either wear the crown or these boys gonna kill you. That's the rest all day long. That means you're gonna run this organization or these boys gonna kill you. Give me no option. And death is a viable defense under duress. If you're gonna die because you don't do something and you perform the function under that duress, anyway. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
The life force in the man that tadpole that's created when the
Whoever told, listen, the man's Y chromosome have 40% of the genetic material of an X chromosome, right? If you look under the microscope, the Y chromosome is a mutated X chromosome. That means somebody took something off of there in order for the man to be here. It looked like the fourth appendage of the X chromosome is extremely atrophied. The mother determines the gender of the child. She can have what's called a gender override chemical barrage to the fetus and decide that an XY child will not be born XY, but will continue as the female that it already was. The sperm is a trigger mechanism for the light that's in the mitochondrial laced egg. So that's the old paradigm of the evolutionary function of sperm because it looked like it's moving, looked like its tail wiggling like a tadpole. So the scientists assumed that that was the one that carried life, and the egg looked like it's just floating. Well, the egg is levitating; it don't got to wiggle.
and they said that in that one little shot that is over 7 million little guys trying to race to the mother, and the mother kid only like a one or two, sometimes make more than two or three make it, but the mother has a mechanism in her blood that kills these beings.
It's in
So
her vagina. It's a natural spermicide in the woman's vagina, and it's more likely to kill the XY sperm than the double X sperm. That's why if the man don't get a woman an orgasm, it's hard for her to produce a male child. But
okay,
when she flush with the orgasm, it flushes the spermicide out that allows more Y chromosomes to advance than would normally had advanced.
hey, shout out fourth elder. Correction is 700 and over 700 million. I meant to say. Uh, shout
So
out.
yeah, 700. It's in the tab to
Yeah.
777,777,777.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What else we got?
But look, that's almost 1 in a billion to start with. Then when you look at the ratio of X to Y, you got a 75% being female and a 25% chance of being male just off the genetic makeup of the cell,
right. Hey,
right?
that's no, go ahead. I had
So
another
you
question.
got women being born at 3 times the rate of boys at least. And depending on where you at, it can be high as 8 times the rate,
Now,
right?
yep,
Now, boy, we don't know how difficult it is for a woman to produce a male child because it's something like 72% of spontaneous abortions is XY children, right? And that's in the first trimester. And the numbers go down when you get to the second trimester, but it's still like 60 something percent. And most stillborns is male child, with females being born more. So you do the math. And we don't even know what the abortions is taking up in numbers.
right.
It's so hard to be born a boy. That's why every boy should have a chance to see what it's like to be a man.
Man, this is what I was gonna ask you too, Raw. Now it was this scientist that I sat with named Mark Brady, and he used to mention of that. He said that in the future, that he said that we missing one chromosome. We're supposed to have three. You're supposed to have an XXY or triple X. And he said that kids, I looked it up, and there's some kids that are born with this, but they label it as a defect. As a defect when they born with three
That's
chromosomes.
the old model.
Go ahead.
Remember, the DNA strands used to be 12, now they 2. Why
Go
would you
ahead.
need extra chromosomes? Look, when with an extra chromosome, you get Down syndrome. 40, was it
Yeah,
47 instead of
yeah,
46?
yeah, 48, 47. Yeah.
Right. So um, when you advance, things are downsized. It's the same with the automobile.
Uh-huh.
It's the same with your microwave oven. The same with your dishwasher.
Uh-huh.
The first dishwashers used to take up damn near a whole kitchen, and that's why they was only in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Then they made one that can fit in your house, right under your sink, just like this cabinet used to be here.
Right,
Now
right.
they got them that sit on top of the sink. They got countertop dishwasher.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I say, do you think that because Doc was saying that back then, this one example, and I want you to this is like a question. Back then, okay, like so, like a lot of people, like back then, my granddaddy, he wore like a size 15, like that, like six. These niggas wore 16s. They coat. You put they coat was big. They were big dudes, like and just big statue. Now everybody wearing eights and nines, a little small. We getting smaller and smaller. Do you think that we will get smaller and smaller, and that we becoming more like mind and more spiritual type beings as we go into this sun cycle? Go ahead.
Okay, so the prototype for the human is the sign and the twa. These were the little people that populated everything, at one time. Whether it was Iceland or whether it was Australia, these were the first people all over the planet. Now they've add mixture. Them was the hominids that Inky and them used to alter the genetics of the modern day human, right? The sign, that's where your Asian looking families come from. And then you have your Twa, where your African looking features primarily come from. Then you have the ones like the Zulu was the first family of Inky, right? But then he had another wife in another part, and they gave birth to a different tribe called the Dinka, right? And when you look at the difference, and you see that the Dinka is way much bigger than the Zulu, and that's because his wife was taller. That wife was taller, so her children came out bigger, but they still have the general physical physique of the Zulu, which was the Inky trait. Then you had a Watusi, tall, lanky, minute bowl looking people, right? Them was because a different consort. She came from an extremely skinny clan, right? So they carried that matrilineal trait, but that height comes from Inky, right? So I can go keep doing that all day. So
Inky wasn't tall as Inlet because Inky was mixed with Dragonian, so he wasn't even 7 foot like the regular Anunnaki. He was
no,
like six.
he was like 6'10".
Doc said he was actually 6 foot in the Holy Tablets. That Inky was 6 foot.
Well, you got to remember he had more than one avatar.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking too. That he had more than one avatar. That's what I was
Yeah,
telling.
he liked to use the giraffe for his totem,
Mm-hmm.
right? And his motto is standing tall and proud, drinking alcohol and talking out loud, looking over the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you know, that was his thing. But remember, a 6 foot tall guy is
To
tall
to a
to the
twi
four
to the twi
4'11" person.
to the twi niggas. Yeah, right,
Yeah, they 4'3", 4'4",
right,
right? So they gonna be little to a 6 footer.
right. They're a giant. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. That's a giant on Earth in those days because the Twi man ain't he don't get that tall. So the Watusis when they came, the Watusis was 6'5", 6 foot, 7 foot tall. They and the Anunnakis some of them got up to 15 foot tall. It depends on what planet they were from.
Right.
The Etruscans were 10
So
feet tall. Yeah.
they didn't like the humans because we used to hive up. We call it tribe up now, but they used to call it hive up, like bees.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to say we rally around Big Mama like ants and termites,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they hated that, especially Enlil,
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't like the matriarchal societies are free will. All patriarchal societies are restricted will.
Mm-hmm.
If the patriarchy operate under the matriarchy, the patriarchs become what they call the perfected father figure,
Mm-hmm.
Usirian, the great father,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you get to that level, you understand the importance of the restoration of the matriarchy because you understand that the perfect balance of the earth is for the man to do man stuff and the woman to do woman stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you encourage the women to engage in stuff like the goddess glow up that brings that femininity, or as ideas say, make it juicy.
Yeah.
Don't no man want to come hugging up on no miserable ass woman, bitching all day. He don't even want to hear that. You know, he want his peace.
Right.
But if she not properly tended to, she can't give him peace because she's in turmoil.
Right.
You got to calm her rage, Sekhmet, and bring out her love, Oshun.
Right.
Right? This was the whole metamorphosis of the self. Every woman should be wanting to get out of that war energy of Sekhmet and embrace their love energy of Oshun, of Venus, of Virgo, right?
Right.
Because that femininity empowers them to make men automatically perform the functions of a man, protect, defend, right? Provide. That becomes the man can't help himself. He just feels it in his soul that that's something he has to do,
Right.
right? So when the women are in that energy, but when the women is in the war and energy, sometimes we have civil war and civil conflict in the home. Or we have a hostage crisis described as a love disguised as a love affair in a domestic violence situation. Trauma bond,
Go ahead.
right? This is carries over from slavery. That's why everybody think they own somebody. You don't own nobody. You join up and make a team with somebody. You got people don't understand that. This is a difference when a man want a wife, he want a teammate. Yeah. If the man do his part, the wife feel the same way about him. Don't disturb his peace, right? Because he protects my palace. If you disturb his peace, he's gonna go in protection mode, and you're gonna get whatever is required when you disturb the peace.
Right.
She gonna tell him before they invite it. Don't come over here with the BS, because we don't do BS. And it's always the people on BS that think you on BS because you won't tolerate their BS. Now that's some BS right there.
Go ahead.
No BS.
Hey, Rod, why do you think that they target our women to give them pay them get them higher paying jobs than the man? These black men.
It's the emasculation of the masculine.
Go ahead.
They give the woman the breadwinner role of the man to emasculate the man and emasculinize the woman. Not saying that there's anything wrong with a working woman, because it ain't. And if she can do the job, she can get paid what a man can, right? But under the patriarchal system, your economic value, your ability to bring in currency determines your rank in the family. So then the woman that make the most money, she now superior to her partner. You can't be a partner with an inferior and a superior. That's why when you're in a relationship, you're either gonna be 100% in it or 100% out of it. Ain't no middle ground. All that old 50-50 relationship stuff people be talking about, it don't work like that. Both of y'all all in, or y'all need to get all out. If you with somebody and you ain't all in, if she tell you, baby, I killed him, and you don't say what you want me to do with the body, you ain't ready. You're not ready. If you come in there and say, baby, I had to do him, she gonna say, did you get rid of the body?
Hey,
Right?
the
Because it's
mob be like that.
team.
The mob
It,
wives be like that.
yeah, it's team. That's why they gave us Mario Puzo's books and turned them into movies, so we can see the functioning of a functional family in hostile conditions in a war zone. You still got to keep the family functional in the war zone. So the way that The Godfather played out, it showed you 2 generations, 3 generations of men struggling to be fathers in a war zone. But we only look at it from the La Cosa Nostra big boss type imagery. We're not looking at why are they doing this. The whole principle of the movie was to take care of the family. Family first. Family over feelings. Right? When you start putting your feelings out there, they gonna get stepped on, and you can't be offended because you put them out there. Everybody in the family, everybody in the society is not always supposed to agree on everything. That's why you have different family members, have different professions, different fields of expertise. Bring them together and utilize your expertise for the benefit of the family. right? And if it benefits the family, it's going to benefit the community because harmonious families live in harmony together. But when families is broken and in chaos, they bring chaos to the whole community.
So that's another thing too, Rod. They created prisons, and I was asking this is another thing dealing with the war on the land between the vampires and the thing. I was asking Dr. Muhammad Umar, why don't they export us back to our country if we from Africa? They keep on they still keep on this.
Dr. Umar don't want to go back to Africa, bro. Don't Dr. Umar talk that African talk all day long, but you can't melt that nigga down and pull that nigga on exporting him to Africa for good. He don't want to go. He already said out his own mouth.
So why he said it? Well, we ain't got to talk about him. I'm just saying though, the prison systems, because we had did a tape called
They
"How
can't
Chaos Is
deport you
Coming."
to somewhere you ain't from.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
can only deport you to where you from or where your allegiance is to. The reason why you can't get reparations because you have no political lobby nowhere in the world.
And they stopped Malcolm X from trying to set that up.
Look, no, no people in the history of reparations being given has ever asked for reparations without a political representing body somewhere in the world. As part of the treaty agreement with Japan, America gave the Japanese POWs who had never been to half of them had never been to Japan a day in their life. A lot of them was born right over there in the San Francisco Bay for railroad work, but they was in internment camps because America's xenophobia had them believing that since the so-called Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, that all Japanese is a threat, which nothing can be further from the truth. Then on top of that, they paid out with that reparations people that was mistaken as being Japanese. As some of them were Koreans, Vietnamese, Chinese, right? And they all received because of the settlement with Japan to pay reparations to the interns in the Japanese prison camps. Even though they wasn't Japanese, they were still in the prison camps. The so-called Jews, when they got Israel set up after World War II, that was based off the Balfour Declaration in World War One. They had a bankers lobby that was willing to pay for them to get a homeland. And if anybody from Earth don't got a homeland, they not from here. And that's why they guy and Lil had to go steal somebody else's land. A usurper, a Jacobin, an underminer, a supplanter.